Hello, everybody, and welcome to this new episode of iGaming Sales Heroes video interviews. I'm very lucky today to be together with David Mann from Swintt today. Welcome, David.
Hi, Domenico. Thanks for having me here.
My pleasure. So, David, I know you have been in the industry for many years now, but it will be good probably if you can spend a couple of minutes just to introduce yourself and how you started in the industry.
Yeah. So at the moment, I'm Business Development Director at Swintt. That obviously, at the moment, sales is one of the key elements of my job.
Okay.
And the business development function. And being a startup, we're quite a lean team. So I'm also taking quite a big part of marketing, business, account management, and many other elements to push the business forward. My journey in sales, being honest, I never seen myself coming into sales. I always thought I would take a more content approach. My background, I have a degree in journalism, so I always thought I would end up going into the writing elements. Now I get to write a lot, obviously, because I do a lot of the marketing. There's always magazine articles and so on to be written. But it was back when I worked in a company called Spigo. We were operating kind of social gaming operations, and there was an opportunity for B2B sales within the company and selling a new kind of casual casino game product. So my manager at the time, Casper, if you're watching, hi. Basically, Casper had he basically took the chance on me. He said that he wanted me to be his head of sales. It was something I'd never tried before. I was open to trying it, and he gave me patience. I had time to learn. Managed to get a few deals under my belt. There was a lot of, there was a lot for me to learn. There was a lot even just about the casino industry, about slots, about the whole gaming setup, about platforms, about integrations, about aggregators, about the commercial elements, about the marketing. So, it was a perfect first foray into the sales aspects of the business. And I really enjoyed it. So from there, I moved on to Wazdan. And again, it was like a step up in how much I had to learn. I was very focused on the slots product. And I was there for quite some time, made more deals.
Actually, when you were at Wazdan, it was the first time we met each other.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. I mean, we had our mutual friend in Alessandro.
Yes.
So we got to meet each other that way. And then, of course, more exhibitions, more conferences, expanding my network, get more involved in the sales process. And then the opportunity came at Swintt. And, there's obviously more to my job than just the sales element, but, sales is always the most fun part. Sales is the part where you have to meet people, you have to negotiate, you have to come up with new projects, you have to, figure out how everything else done in the business all funnels into this one aspect of sales and how we manage to turn that into revenue.
I agree. So, but then considering your expertise and also, let's say, the study that you did in the past, what is then the most challenging task you find while working on your sales activities on a daily basis, let's say, if there is any?
Yeah, there is some obviously some challenging parts. I mean, the sales process in gaming, it's never straightforward. It's never just, okay, you sign a contract and that's it. There's always the elements of how's the distribution, how's the integration, what's the steps that we have to get the games live and then get the games performing and, making sure that everything works in the long run. So for me, the challenging element I'm finding, at least right now, is just expanding my technical knowledge. I know that you yourself, you have a more technical background. So when I see these integration chats and I want to know myself, what stage am I at? And I just say a bunch of letters and numbers and codes. At the moment, it's a bit of guesswork.
Yeah.
I can't really tell exactly, but I'm starting to learn, so I am getting there. But, that's for me, just to make sure that I'm on top of the integrations and understanding where they are. It's challenging, but it is something that you do learn over time. Just as I learned over time the commercial elements, just as I learned over time how the games work, what the USPs of the games are, what operators are looking for, So
Well,
It's
because I think also for a casino provider, probably okay. Um, I will try to simplify a little bit this concept, but just to give the idea, is that it's easier to get the contract signed rather than having the games live and in the first two rows of the casino lobby.
yeah. I mean, the paperwork, at least getting the commercials agreed and the paperwork, that can be the easy part. Sometimes that's the bit that it can take time as well. Of course, negotiations can go on for a long time, making sure both sides are happy. But the integration, there has been cases that it's been done in no time and the games are up and running. But, it's a more technical aspect, and that's where you can run into problems, or even just roadmap, which just comes down to resources. Do they have the time to take us on board? So, yeah.
I totally understand the concept. Let's say that on the sportsbook point of view, it's slightly different because, okay, an operator choose many casino providers, but usually choose only one sportsbook. So the
Yeah.
moment you agree on everything, let's say you probably takes more time to agree, to negotiate, to close the agreement. But the moment the agreement is signed, also because even the operator is more committed on that, you get the sportsbook up and running probably a little bit faster than a casino provider. So
Yeah.
I understand the situation. Yes. So
Yeah,
yes, please.
there can be a smoothness, because there's platforms and aggregation, so sometimes it can be as easy as the operator just needs to flick a switch and they've got the games.
Yes.
So that can obviously simplify things.
But then it comes another question that I think everybody is afraid of asking. Better to have a direct agreement or better to go through the aggregator?
Well, yeah. Always, that's what it comes down to. So our focus, we are focusing on direct. Everybody wants to go direct. In our case, we were focusing on direct agreements. We know that we have a product with good value in it. So, we believe that it's worth making sure the commercials are right for both sides, that we can actually get the full use of this product. And then it's, as well, we don't want any kind of barriers in between us and our clients. It's a relationship driven.
Yes, I understand. You create a better relationship with the customer if you have a direct agreement than going through, let's say, a middleware. Yes, I understand.
Yeah, I mean, it's a relationships game. That's why these exhibitions are always, a good part in the calendar for guys like you and me, because we meet the right people. We can go for a few drinks. You get to know each other, and you might not make business now, but you never know in a couple of years. It's a dynamic industry.
For me, it's never about a matter of yes or no. It's just a matter of when.
Exactly. And you can help each other out. I might know somebody that needs a sports book. I say, hey, Domenico, he's the guy with the sports book. So
definitely.
Definitely.
Good. So now I'm going to ask you the next question, which is based on your past negotiations, let's say the commercial discussions that you had with that what at the time were a potential customer and then became customer. What was the most challenging one you handled? And if you have any tips that you want to share about how you managed to get the deal done.
So, I mean, without using any particular names.
Yes, of course.
It mostly boils down to, the larger clients are, they're kind of the harder to deal with in terms of making sure that you have the commercials right, in terms of making sure that, everything goes through compliance. They probably have queues, we have queues on our side, and then the distribution and getting in. So, some of the harder deals that I've had to do, we've been at a crossroads, and it's been like, well, we have the games, you want the games, but there's no way for you to take them without us going via a platform or a different route. So there has been times in the past where I've then had to step away from that negotiation, keep them warm, keep them happy, keep them interested, but then just say, right, what's the best route we can go? Then you have to talk to the platforms. Then you have to look, right, which way can we go? How fast can we get integrated? How quickly can we get in? So and in many cases, the business is possible. You know, there just has to be some flexibility, perhaps on both sides. And both sides have to agree, right, we may have to go for a platform. It's going to take a bit more time, but in the end, we get the games and we get the business.
Mm-hmm.
So this has been something I've had to deal with a few times before. And, you know, now we have a direct approach. So far we're managing, you know. It's people are happy to take the games direct. There is a good value in it. We just need to, you know, make sure that we
and I believe that as well for this is valid for sportsbook as well, but even for casino. I mean, the moment you start working with some operators that can give you some, let's say, exposure, the others will just follow up.
Well, that's it. Yeah. If you have a case,
you know, we saw your games on that website, and now I won them. I say, now you won them.
Yeah.
Let's discuss.
Yeah, exactly. When you have the games there, their competition have them. You know, there's clear performance of the games. You can then start even looking at player reception of the games. Yeah. You know, it all helps. So you might have to take this small stopgap and say, right, we need to go. You know, we need to maybe go through a platform on one side just to make sure that you get on board. But then you open up a wider opportunity, not even with the operator, but you might get into a platform, and then you can, now we can get those guys as well. So that can be something that can be, you know, a barrier in some negotiations and make it tough. But I guess, you know, in the sales element, you just have to look at what's the wider opportunity. Can we generate more business out of this?
Yes, I mean,
there's always an opportunity.
I already interviewed a couple of people already, and what is emerging as a trend, what I was already, let's say, thinking about it, is at the end of the day, it's again a matter of value. The value that you can bring on the table, the value that you can create from a negotiation. Yeah. Because maybe, you know, I even have, my approach is to go straight to the point, and if I cannot help you, I will not sell you something that it's not suitable for you. If I do not have the product for you, probably I can even help you to get the product from some of my competitors. In general, okay, for sportsbook, it did not happen yet, but in other situations, we can, I have this approach, because at the end of the day, it's a matter of relationships. It's a matter of how you deal with the people, and you need to bring value. So I agree with what you're saying.
Always. Yeah. I mean, in my position as well, I enjoy the marketing elements of the business. You know, our designer, I work very closely with him, and he has a lot of marketing experience as well. So we can come up with, you know, it's about how you present the value as well. It's not just good enough to say, hey, we have these games, they're good for this market. We want to say, this is why they're good for this market.
Yes.
You know, be able to really create the value and think about how you present the value. That's a really enjoying element of what I do. I really like that. And it always ties in back into the sales element, because if your customers know the value you have, and I go to them and say, hey, look, this is the product. I know this is right for you, then, you know, it shows that you've actually thought about it, that you're actually considering, rather than just a scattergun approach of, hey, just take this, who cares?
I agree.
Which I guess in many cases has worked for a lot of people. You know, so you can't really
it's a short-term strategy. Then it will not pay off in the long run.
Yeah, and you always have to think in what's the next steps. Where are we going next? So where's the next levels of value that we can take? And the innovation in the industry is relentless. The new products coming out, the competition is very fierce. Especially, I mean, in the slots side, you know, there's some really great stuff coming out from some of my competitors. You know, so we have to always keep up with that. Yes. But we have to make sure that, you know, we don't lose sight of our own value and what we bring to the table. I'm sure it's the same in sports.
And especially for slots, I would say that it's not so easy to find the right. There is no a specific recipe that you can follow and you make a successful game. There are successful games in the past that even if you ask the creators, they will tell you, we didn't plan to make this game successful.
Yeah. It was just a game. They just launched it.
It just went out. What is also true is that especially in the past there weren't so many slot providers, so it was the players had less choice than today. So even the turnover of the games was the players had more time to play with the games and to get, let's say, to get used to.
Yeah, they would be more comfortable with what was on the market and be more familiar with these games that have been around for longer. Now the games are just coming out relentlessly, but it happens. Sometimes there's a game you release, you're like, oh wow, that performed a lot better than we expected, and it's always a nice bonus.
Yes, I agree. And then there's also depending on the market, on the behavior of the specific market of the player. So it's a combination of things. So it's not you guys have a very tough job to find the right approach for the games. I understand. It's not so simple. Yes. So
it's very fierce.
Yes, I agree. So David, let me ask you then the next question. Do you like to read sales book? And if yes, do you have any title to suggest to me and to the people that are listening to this video?
So there has been a couple in the past I've thought about picking up. To be honest, I'm just someone that I used to read a lot, and I just kind of fell away from it. I stopped reading so much. But not too long ago, I had an audiobook app, and I listened to an audiobook called Never Split the Difference.
Yes, I know it.
Yeah,
I have the book. I did not listen to the audiobook, but I have the book.
Yeah, so I mean, I drive to work. I'm in Malta. There's traffic, so it's a perfect way to
to do for an hour.
Exactly. Yeah. It's only 5 kilometers, but it's going to take me an hour, so I might as well listen to an audiobook. But I thought that book was fantastic, even in terms of the way of dealing with the negotiations, because there's a lot of anecdotal evidence and there's a lot of storytelling in between. But when I was listening to the audiobook and I reflect upon my own negotiations that have been successful, and I can reflect, I'm like, yes. So he identifies something I done, and I maybe subconsciously it's something I done. So it was a really enjoyable book. I'd recommend it to people just to read it, because I thought it was very interesting.
What I think, because I was discussing also with other people about this, is that personally, okay, as Domenico, I like to read a lot, and actually I'm moving to the direction that it's difficult for me, maybe because I was a software developer before, so my mind is very straightforward. It's very difficult for me to read something that is not about sales or let's say personal growth, because I'm more functional. So I say, if I have to do something, I want to be something that will help me to improve myself. So, and I'm understanding that there are on the other side a lot of people that they're working in sales, they're very good sales people, but they do not like to read too many books. So I start wondering, and then maybe I said, okay, probably a certain point in time to make that step further, you need to have some basis. You need to read some books, even to confront yourself against what other salespeople around the world are facing every day, and to see if there is any space for improvement, because I believe that we can always improve ourselves. And probably, I mean, it's proven with the other examples as well. The best thing to do is to read, is to study.
Yeah, completely.
You don't have scientists that just are scientists because they were born scientists, because they studied a lot and then they succeed because they spent a lot of time studying. So personally, I believe that for sales is the same. You can be very nice guy and you have very good soft skills, but even these days you can learn how to improve your soft skills. And you can do this in 2 ways: making a lot of mistakes, but even though if you make mistakes but you cannot recognize that you did mistakes and how, and I mean the way you did, how you improve.
I completely agree. I think even just you can expand, like from where you are. You don't need to just focus on the sales. You can maybe look at wider economics. And get study more into the economic models and look more into the wider business opportunities and how you can leverage that into the sales process.
What I read the book was I think 6 months ago, that it was describing the difference between all different countries and cultures manage to do business.
Mm-hmm.
And then, for example, they say that the attitude of the person in relying more on the agreement is based on their trust in the legal system of their country.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized why, with some customers, I just need to shake my hands with them. And with some others, you go point by point in the agreement. And they comment even even the font that you used in the agreement. So
Yeah.
reading that book helped me to understand why different customers from different parts of the world, because I'm dealing with basically everybody
Yeah.
from
Of course.
everywhere
Yeah.
in the world. Why? Because otherwise, if you don't have this information, you will, this guy is giving me troubles because he's committing every part. But if you understand that he's not doing that because of you, but because it's in his nature, because he doesn't trust, or he does trust his legal system in his country, then it makes your life easier.
Yeah, definitely. It's such an international business we run. You know, I'm from Scotland and Malta. You're from Italy and Malta.
Yes.
You know, we're doing business with people all over the world from different cultures and backgrounds. And you know, even having a network, you know, and we can discuss with each other, and you can say, oh, I dealt with this guy before. This is the kind of negotiation that he does, or you can mention about cultural differences, about how they do business. You know, and it's part of the learning process. Some like what you're saying. You know, if you don't experience it, you're going to have to read about it, or you're going to have to ask someone and then learn from them.
Yeah. Or you ask someone, say, I have this situation, and that guy will give you the information that he got from the book and will transfer
Yeah,
to you, or from me, or from someone else that told him that thing as well. So you have, let's say, this communication passing over from people to people, or you
yeah,
have to study something. But I mean, I understand the situation. Okay, so to jump then to the last and final and more important question, most important question: what should be your iGaming Sales Heroes tips that you want to share with the community that is growing and that is listening to this interview? Is there any
so
secret techniques that you want to share with us? You can share with us.
I mean, I wouldn't even say one of the tips that's helped me the most is what we've just spoke about, which is never stop learning, which is, you know, continuous. You know, you can spend time on LinkedIn, you can spend time on media websites, discussing with partners and friends. Being based here in Malta, you know, a lot of my friend circle are also working in the industry. So you end up talking to people from sportsbook or from platform management or affiliation. And there's so many elements you can learn. And I mean, to me, they're also interesting. So you can continuously learn more and more things. And in the long run, it's always going to help you. I find that for the sales element, that's crucial, just to make sure that you keep learning, even from dealing with your clients. You know, you ask them directly, you get information from them, you start to understand their business, how it works, and how it applies to what you do. So I think continuous learning is never a bad thing. And having a mentor in place can obviously help with this, because they can, you know, guide you through certain processes that might have been tough.
And,
And I
and,
think,
and I would say that we are both on a good position for that. We are very good,
yeah,
two good mentors.
yeah, I think so. I think, you know, there's a lot that we can learn from the guys above us, you know, so we're very thankful for that. And yeah, hopefully we'll be sitting at their position at some point in the future and share the knowledge with
Yes.
someone else.
Yes.
Exactly. I also think as well, you know, it's a relationships driven business. So some people might be more introverted. They might not be the best at interpersonal relations, but you know, we're in an industry where if you remember faces and you know people, it really helps. You know, so I think that just remembering that relationships are crucial. You know, there might be nothing in a business opportunity now. They may be from a different part of the industry,
Yeah.
but down the line they can help you out. So it's even something for life. Be nice to people.
So get out, make connections, make friends, because you never know what
Yeah,
can happen in the future.
exactly. It's a motto for life, even
Yes.
not just in business.
Yes,
You
yes,
know,
yes.
be
I
nice
agree.
to people, be friendly, and you never know what can happen in future. So
I agree. I
yeah,
agree. Okay. I really would like to thank you again to joining me today. It was a real pleasure, and I think it was a very productive discussion. And I want
yeah,
to take just a couple of seconds of your time just to tell to the public to follow us on LinkedIn. And again, it was a pleasure. And I hope to see you soon again here around Malta.
yeah. Thanks, Domenico. I'm sure we'll see each other very soon.
Yes. Thank you so
Yeah.
much,
Thank
David.
you.
Have a
Thanks,
nice day.
Domenico.
Bye bye.
You too, mate. Cheers.